I'm going to be showing you guys the new ability cards here in Red Dead Online, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts on them, kind of just like a first impressions, and I'm just going to buy them here in the game, and maybe later this week I can let you know exactly which ones you need to buy and things like that. So drop a like if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at HazardousHDTV to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest Red Dead Redemption 2 news and information. I also want to mention I am live every single day on Twitch.tv, so if you are in the market for daily Red Dead Online live streams both before and after this update drops, you can be sure to always have a channel that's excited to have a conversation and play Red Dead Online with you. So let's just go here to the abilities menu, and we are going to be checking out all these new cards. As you guys know, there are no new Deadeye ability cards here in Red Dead Online. Painted Black was nerfed, Slippery was nerfed. All of these, honestly, I don't know why Rockstar still names them Deadeye cards. There's nothing Deadeye about any of these cards, honestly. You just lose Deadeye with everything. It's a little crazy now. But anyway, we're going to take a look at all the passive cards we can jump into here. So let's just start with the combat abilities first. We have Gunslinger's Choice. While dual wielding, you deal a little more damage and you are a little more accurate. Now, this is a pretty cool card right here because dual wielding is a very effective way to be getting kills in PvP and both in the PvE as well when you're taking down enemies. It's good to have two weapons. You want to have your offhand holster. You want to be using either two revolvers, two pistols, a sawed-off shotgun, two sawed-off shotguns, a sawed-off shotgun and a pistol, a sawed-off shotgun, and a revolver, and it's really good. This card only gives you good just advantages here. When dual wielding, you do more damage and are a little more accurate. So we have a lot of weapons in this game that you can dual wield. The revolvers, the pistols, and the shotguns. I'm really curious to see what these shotguns do, like the sawed-off shotguns do with Gunslinger's Choice. Because, as you know, this is only tier 1. So when you max this out, like here, Winning Streak says each consecutive shot on the same target does much more damage. When this card was tier 1, it says you do a little more damage with each consecutive shot. The same thing will apply to Gunslinger's Choice. Probably when you have this at tier 3, it'll say while dual wielding, you deal a lot more damage and are a lot more accurate. So I'm very curious to see how this card plays out into the game. I am going to be trying to rank this up. This seems like a very good card for the PvE side of things when you're bounty hunting or protecting yourself on trader missions. You can be on your wagon, and instead of using a long arm, you can use your two Lamat revolvers or anything, do a lot more damage and be more accurate. So we are going to buy this right here. This seems like a very, very good card to use here in Red Dead Online. The other one is Sharpshooter. While using a scope, you deal a little more damage and take a little less damage. Again, if you guys are a sniper here in Red Dead Online, this is probably your card. If you guys like to quickscope, you know, like you're some FaZe member for Call of Duty, this would be your card. Sharpshooter, when you're using a scope, if you have this thing at tier 3, it'll probably say while using a scope, you deal a lot more damage and take a lot less damage. This will only happen when you're aimed down the sights using your scope. Now, this card is probably going to be a lot more useful now than if it came out before this new Red Dead Online update, just because of the fact that snipers now have aim assist when you're using the scope. It's not crazy lock-on like when you're using any other weapon, but sniper aim assist has been increased and it's actually noticeable on the sniper now. So if you try and lock onto enemies in PvP or even in PvE in the free roam, both NPCs and other players, you'll notice you won't be able to lock on with the scope, but when you are aiming down your sights with the sniper rifle scope or the bolt action rifle, or maybe even the Springfield rifle if you have the scopes equipped, or even repeaters, if you drag your crosshairs over a player or an NPC, you'll notice that your aim slows down and kind of sticks and hugs the body for a second, and that is what the aim assist is. Lock on is where you're just like aiming one direction and you'll just completely aim at the person, center mass, and you'll be good to go to shoot them. Aim assist is when you aim over the player, your aim will kind of slow down and be sticky on that certain person, and this is why the Sharpshooter card would be really good for you. So we are also going to buy this. I'm going to be buying every card here in Red Dead Online. It's interesting how they show this. They show like a flintlock pistol or something like that, and it's the Sharpshooter card. I don't know why they didn't show like a sniper rifle with a python or viper or whatever snake that is. Very interesting. But moving on, we are going to talk about the new recovery abilities. First off, we have Iron Lung. Your stamina regenerates faster and you take slightly less damage depending on your current stamina. Also really good here. This is kind of like the opposite of Peak Condition. Basically what Peak Condition is like is your sprinting uses less stamina, you deal more damage depending on your current stamina level. So this is the same thing, is instead of your stamina like depleting at a slower rate, here your stamina regenerates faster. So if you're not sprinting, you'll recover your stamina faster, and also taking slightly less damage if you have full stamina versus doing more damage with peak condition if you have full stamina. So this is also, these are essentially the opposite of each other. They are both recovery abilities, but it's interesting how Rockstar found like the antithesis of the peak condition card and turned it into this new Iron Lung card. So this is also one that I do want to rank up and test out here in Red Dead Online. If you guys want a new card that's similar to peak condition and maybe you want to be a little bit more tanky, this would probably be the way to go. This is like a passive slow and steady in my opinion, because if you have full stamina, then essentially you're going to be taking a lot more damage if this thing is at tier 3. So we're going to buy this one as well, unlock that right away, and I love the new like details on the cards. These are really awesome in my opinion. Moving on, we have Kick in the Butt. Whenever you take damage, a small proportion of it is added to your Deadeye. So that's interesting here. So if we are taking damage, we are actually getting more Deadeye here in Red Dead Online, and this actually could go super well with either Paint It Black, or this sounds like a great PvE ability card, because the enemies in this game are not the most accurate, but they do sometimes hit you a bunch of times in a row. If you try and challenge a group of NPCs on a mission, they all sometimes just hit you all at the same time because they're programmed to hit you every certain amount of shots they take. So this Kick in the Butt ability card is pretty good, because if you take a few bullets of damage, you're taking a couple hits of damage, you'll basically maybe have like a lot of Deadeye in your Deadeye ability. You don't need to take potent snake oils. You won't need to craft them anymore. You won't need to buy regular snake oils or special snake oils or eat Indian tobacco or use Indian tobacco to craft anything. You can just use this ability card and you will be all set to go. So once again, we are going to be buying this card here in the game. We'll see when we unlock this one and I can actually rank it up. I'm planning on at least trying to max out all these cards eventually. I wanted to wait till the update to, one, in case we got new ability cards, which we have, and I also haven't been able to like rank up these cards like Hangman and stuff. I just bought them so that I can rank them up when I wanted to. So I'll just be spending $450 on these 9 new ability cards just to have them unlocked so I can have them here in my inventory. Next up, we have Live for the Fight. You regenerate Deadeye slowly over time. Now, when I first read this card, I was like, wait, why would I want to regenerate Deadeye slower over time? No, it's not slower, it is slowly. So no matter what you're doing, the only way to regenerate Deadeye in this game is, one, taking tonics or eating food and things like that for your cores. But the other ways is to get headshots or killing animals or just shooting things, and that will give you Deadeye back. But if you're just standing there, your Deadeye is not going to regenerate at all. That is the only card that doesn't regenerate. Your stamina regenerates over time, your health regenerates over time, but your Deadeye, you need to be performing some type of action to be getting Deadeye back in this game. And so Live for the Fight is one of those cards. If you just always want to have Deadeye on your person, you'll regenerate Deadeye slowly over time using the Live for the Fight card. Now, when this thing is maxed out at tier 3 after spending $50 to buy it, like I'm about to do right now, earning the 10,000 XP to upgrade it, spending $350 to upgrade it to tier 2, and then earning another 15,000 XP, and then spending another $500 to get it to tier 3. If you do take the time to max this card out, this card will probably say you regenerate Deadeye very fast over time. So you could probably get a full ring of Deadeye probably in maybe a couple minutes in game or something. I can't imagine Rockstar doing it too much, but I feel like this would be very good also in PvP and PvE as well. Now, one of the last recovery abilities we're going to talk about before we move on to these 3 defense abilities here is this new one called Ride Like the Wind. Whenever you take damage or deal damage while mounted, a small proportion of it is added to your horse's health and stamina. This is one that's a good horse card. This card will help your horse a lot. If you find that your horse is dying, you don't have the Turkoman, you don't have the Foxtrot, or you don't have the Arabian, and your horse is taking a lot of damage, you're always constantly having to either craft or actually buy potent horse reviver or horse reviver in general. Ride Like the Wind is going to help you, because whenever you as a person are taking damage, your horse will gain stamina and health back. So that's actually kind of cool. It's an interesting card. I don't know how useful it will be, but I know some people are going to want to use this. And again, I want to max this card out right here. So I'm going to be purchasing this card here in Red Dead Online. And now we'll be moving over to these last 3. We'll talk about Fool Me Once. You take a little less damage with each consecutive time you are shot. This effect ends if you are not shot in 10 seconds. This one is fairly straightforward as a defense ability. You'll just take less damage if you're getting shot at by the same person multiple times. Now, this card is actually probably worth using in this game. One, because it's new, so you want to just test it out if you want to. But also, people aren't always going for headshots now. With the new mechanics in the game, the new gunfight mechanics and combat controls and all of that stuff, and just the fact that headshots not necessarily aren't as important, because a headshot's a one-shot kill. You know, it's an important thing to get if you can. It's just easier to go for body shots now because it's harder to get headshots. So Fool Me Once is going to be good, because if you're getting shot at by the same person multiple times in a row because they're not going for headshots, they're trying to get body shots on you, they're probably going to land each shot. And Fool Me Once is going to help you take a little less damage each time you are shot. Now, again, if you don't get shot for 10 seconds from the same person, this card won't do anything, so it may not be worth it in your opinion, or in my opinion, I don't think it's that worth it. But again, I'm going to buy it nonetheless because eventually I want to rank this card up here in Red Dead Online. Talking about one of the last two abilities, we have Friends for Life. I wish I had that. While mounted, you and your horse take a little less damage. Now, this is just overall a blanket defense ability. This would probably, I'm going to jump into the free roam after this and probably use this here. While mounted, you and your horse take a little less damage. My own self as a player will not be getting killed as often. Same with my horse, he may not be getting downed as much. While this is tier 3, it may say while mounted, you and your horse take a lot less damage or much less damage. Not too sure what this is going to be. I'm going to try to max this cards out. Friends for Life sounds like a great ability card to be using if you are doing these bounty hunting missions where you're always on your horse delivering targets and things like that. This is one of the cards for you. So we are going to buy this one again here in Red Dead Online. And lastly, Strength in Numbers. You take a little less damage for every nearby ally up to a maximum of 3 allies. So this is interesting here. If you're rolling with a posse, Strength in Numbers is definitely the card for you. If you guys and your friends are playing as a posse all the time, you definitely want to make sure you're using this card. For a solo player such as myself, this may not be the way to go because even if I'm playing with 1 or 2 friends, it's just not that great. But if you have all 3 friends to take advantage of this ability card in full, it's probably the card for you. You guys can make that decision for yourself. If you are a solo player, I would probably stick away from this card. I just wanted to show you guys all the new ability cards here in Red Dead Online, me buying them because I do want to use them over time. You can see which ones I have maxed out. All the important ones like Horseman, Winning Streak, Eye for an Eye, Strange Medicine, these have been maxed out forever. Cold-Blooded was one of my most recent upgrades. Peak Condition I've had maxed out forever. Unblinking Eye I maxed out recently. Never Without One, you guys already know I've had that in the game forever. I've been saving up everything. I've been live streaming on Twitch every single day. I've been trying to maximize my gold, but I was specifically trying to avoid spending money because you can't buy these ability cards and upgrade these ability cards with gold. If you could, then this would legitimately be pay to win because you could just pay for gold bars and then upgrade these ability cards. But 1, you need to earn XP, and 2, you need to get cash. And the only way to get cash in this game is by playing the game and doing missions or roles or whatever you're doing to get money here in this game. Gold is the only currency in this game that you could buy, and so ability cards only being purchased with cash makes these ability cards not technically pay to win because you can't actually pay to win with them. But nonetheless, I do need to upgrade all these ability cards, and this is why I've been saving up my cash in specific, because of how expensive these things are. All of these to get to tier 2 will be $350 a piece. So keep that in mind when you're trying to upgrade these. It's 10,000 XP and $350 to get from tier 1 to tier 2. And it's also 15,000 XP and $500 per ability card to get from tier 2 to tier 3. But with all that said and out of the way, that is everything here that is up on deck for these new ability cards. I'm really pleased that Rockstar put 9 new ones in the game for players to purchase and start ranking up. And it shouldn't be too bad, especially with all the new ways to earn XP that are seemingly faster than the old meta of just grinding strangers. I need to keep playing to see exactly what that's all about. But so far with this update, most likely because of all the items I've purchased here for roles and things like that, I've only been losing money. And even when I'm making money with the roles themselves, I seem to be making the money a lot slower than just grinding strangers and hunting before this update came out. But hopefully nonetheless you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to be purchasing any of these new ability cards here in Red Dead Online? If so, which ones will you be trying out first? And if you already have bought some, which ones do you like most? I definitely need some help deciding here because I'm trying to find all the new best cards to use instead of the same old that I've been using since the beginning of the game. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And with that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2. I got you covered with the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, leaks, and all that good stuff. And also Grand Theft Auto Online and The Last of Us Part 2 content. Can't forget about those. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram to also get connected with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of those links can be found in the description down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.